Hey, what's up? It's Karen San Diego, and you are watching part 2 of my updated VSG Q&A. If you have not watched part 1 yet, pause. Go to my channel, go back and watch part 1, and then come back to this video. This is going to be a 3-part series. So if you're watching this video the day it came out, there's going to be a part 3 coming out tomorrow, but there is already a part 1 on my channel. So make sure you watch that one first, and then come back and watch this one. As I mentioned in part 1, this series is a series that I created from Instagram. I did a question box on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, you should be. I do a lot of VSG content over there as well, and I collect my questions for these Q&As from Instagram by doing question boxes every now and then and collecting the responses. So follow me on Instagram to be a part of that. But I'm gonna jump right into the video. I have so many questions to get through. So we are going to jump right into this Q&A. And the first question that I'm going to go ahead and answer is, do you count your calories or macros? And if not, how do you keep track of your protein? This question is another one of those questions that I get asked a lot, and I understand, because in the beginning of surgery, or when we talk about VSG surgery in general, we talk a lot about getting your protein in, we talk about staying under a certain amount of calories, yada yada yada. So the short answer to this question is no. I do not track my protein, I do not track my calories, I do not track my carbs, I do not track any sort of macro, and I don't think I really ever did. In the beginning, I weighed my food to keep track of how many ounces I was eating. I don't do that anymore. But as far as like, let me get this amount of calories or this amount of carbs or this amount of protein, I don't do that. And then to answer the part of the question where it's like, well, then how do you make sure you get enough protein? The way I do that is by prioritizing protein in every single meal that I eat. And I'm not perfect, so it's not that every single meal I eat is rich in protein, but I prioritize it. So if I'm eating breakfast, I want to make sure that there's protein in there. So I usually do that in the form of eggs. My go-to breakfast is either eggs on toast or just eggs by itself, or like a protein yogurt. I like the ratio protein yogurt. I'll do that. Make sure there's protein in it. If I'm eating lunch, I make sure I'm adding protein to it. If I'm eating dinner, I make sure I portion it so that there's more protein. And just making sure there is protein in every single thing that I'm eating. I am not chasing a particular number. Like, I'm not like, I need to get in this amount of protein every single day. I eat a balanced diet. And that is both due to my own research and due to what was advised to me by my doctor and my team at my bariatric center. I was more so taught to eat a diet that is well-rounded and balanced versus trying to just protein. I mentioned in part 1 that I think that protein diet is how a lot of people end up malnourished and have hair loss problems and all those type of things. I believe just the same way as someone who did not have bariatric surgery, the key to being a healthy person is having a balanced diet. That means eating carbs, that means eating protein, that means eating fiber, that means eating your vegetables, eating healthy sugars, all different types of food groups. You want to eat them all. Protein can be the priority, so you make sure you get more of that, but I don't focus on just protein to where I feel like I need to track it. If I work out, I drink a protein shake. I don't drink a protein shake every day if I didn't work out, but every single time I work out, I do drink a protein shake. But I'm not counting how much protein is there or any of those type of things. I like to live a balanced, healthy lifestyle, and getting my protein in, it just kind of comes with that, but I don't have a specific goal that I'm trying to hit. All right, so the next question is, how long before you didn't have to do the VSG Chew? I'm so over it. So with this, once again, I was told when I got to my, every doctor is different. So every doctor says something different to their patients. My doctor told me when I was in my period stage to chew my food till it was a period consistency. That was more so about healing. So my stomach had just been chopped up, like 80% of my stomach was removed. So because of that, you want to eat to a pureed consistency to make sure you're not doing too much and messing with the healing of your stitches in your stomach. After that, there's no real VSG chew. The reason that you want to chew slower after surgery once you get past the healing phase is because, and this is something that I learned the hard way, if you eat too quickly, you end up eating more than you can actually hold in your stomach because you swallowed it so quickly that you didn't even know your stomach was at its capacity until all the stomach is already down there. And at that point, you throw up. What happens is you start eating, your food is going down, down, down. It's getting to your stomach, but your stomach is full. So then your food is just sitting in your chest and it has nowhere to go. It comes back up. However, if you choose slower, you give your food time to actually get to your stomach, whereas you're able to feel those hunger cues as you're getting hungry, and don't overeat before you actually, and don't end up overeating more than you can actually eat in that one sitting. However, the way to combat that, if you really don't want to do the VSG chew, which I don't think exists really, it's a matter of how you need to eat based off of what you do. So I've seen some people who make plates for themselves that have a lot of food on it with the mentality of, oh, I'll just eat it throughout the day. I personally don't do that because I think that's how you lead yourself to overeat. If you watch my What I Eat in a Day videos, you see that I always eat on really small plates. And the reason for that is because I can only put but so much food on that tiny plate. So I know that the plate that I'm eating on, the capacity of that plate is as much as I can eat. So if I finish the food on the plate, I know that that was my capacity, and I don't serve myself more than I can eat in one sitting. So because of that, I don't have to chew slowly, only because I didn't overserve myself. But the VSG chew, having to chew slowly like that when you're good amount out of surgery, it's to prevent you from eating more than you can eat and not ending up being in an uncomfortable situation. The way to avoid that, only put on your plate what you know you can eat, and weigh your food until you are confident that you know how much you can eat. That's the way you're going to be able to not have to do the VSG chew. All right, the next question says, how soon after surgery did you shower? I want to say the day I came home from surgery, I don't think I showered. Honestly, the reason I don't think I showered is because I don't think I was 100% mentally there. I think I was still really loopy from the meds they give you in the hospital and still in some pain. So I was pretty much just like on the couch, not really wanting to move around or do anything. I think I showered though the next day. But honestly, it is a blur. I cannot confirm that that is true. But I know for a fact I did not shower the day I came home from the hospital. I did not shower in the hospital. So if you're planning for surgery, don't even bother to pack toiletries because you ain't gonna shower in the hospital. I did not shower when I got home. Maybe the day after I got home, I might have showered, or even honestly the day after that. I don't know. I was out of it. Those meds, like when I was in the beginning, the meds were so strong. The meds in the hospital, that loopy. There was no thinking about showering. When I came home, I was on pain meds for 2 days, I believe, and during those 2 days, I don't know if I showered. I think I might have showered on day 2 though. Not because I wanted to be stank, just because, look, I had bigger fish to fry at that time. Similarly to pregnancy, when I had Ryan, I don't know when I showered after having Ryan. But let's not get it twisted. On normal time, when I'm not post-surgery, I shower regularly. I like to be clean. It's just after you have surgery, if you know, you know, you don't shower right away. But I think I want to say the day after I got home. All right, next question says, I'm having too many sweets. I can't control myself. What do you recommend? So the first thing I would say here, I understand it's easier said than done, but the first thing I would say here is if you're writing this comment, that means that you know you're doing too much. You know you're doing too much, and you have to remember that you did not have 80% of your stomach cut out for you to mess it up, right? There's that piece to it. But then there's also the piece where I do genuinely wholehearted, I will stand on this hill and yell, I believe that you can have all things in moderation. So I don't think having sweets is a problem. I think you're allowed. I think the fact that you're saying that you're having too many sweets, I think that tells you that you're doing too much and shouldn't have as many. So this is where the determination has to come in. My theory of you can have all things in moderation, that theory only works if you're mentally at a place where you can handle having all things in moderation. It happens after you have done the work of healing your relationship with food, and then you can go into doing everything in moderation. In the beginning of my journey, I mentioned that I, for the first year, didn't work out and I just focused on my relationship with food. During that time, I wasn't really eating sweets like that. The only time I could think in my mind that I remember really having sweets was when I was on vacation. Because when I'm on vacation, what's a goal? I don't have goals on vacation. So on vacation, I did have sweets, but then I came home and got back on it because during that time, I was building my relationship. So during that time, if I did introduce anything, I'd have it and keep it in moderation. And it's really about building the discipline to be able to be successful in this journey long term. This is not a diet. This isn't like to say like, oh, you can never have anything sweet. This isn't a diet. This is a lifestyle change. If you think about the people in your life that you know that are naturally thin, typically those people do eat sweets. They do indulge in things like that, but they just don't overdo it. And that's the way that you need to be thinking about it. But I would say that if you feel like you're having too much sweets, and you may just not be at a place where you're mentally ready to start eating things like that yet. You have to remember that it is a journey, and your journey is going to look different than other people's. So if you're not ready to introduce sweets and those type of snacks into your diet, take it out. Maybe try replacing them with things like fruit that are also sweet but have more healthy sugars in it, so that you're not eating things that are going to cause you to want to eat too much of it. The goal is to be able to eat whatever you want, but having whatever you want be different than what it was like before surgery. If you start eating the way that you were eating before surgery, you're setting yourself up to fail before you even have the chance to win. You don't want to do that. Every step of this journey needs to be about building new habits. And to me, it sounds like you're not ready to really be introducing those type of foods back into your diet. And don't get me wrong, I have moments too where I feel like I'm eating too much. Like, for example, something like cookies, donuts. I love donuts, right? Probably my favorite sweet type of food. If I feel like I'm having too many donuts, I know when to turn it off and be like, I'm not doing that anymore. Another way that I avoid having too many of them is by not buying too many of them. If I know that if I buy a 12 pack of donuts, I'm gonna eat 12 donuts, not in one sitting. But things like donuts and cake and cookies and things like that, I can eat more of that than I can things like chicken and salmon, right? So if I know I don't want to eat a lot of something, and I know that I may not have the self-control to avoid eating a lot of something, I can avoid having that thing in my house. And I just make sure I either don't buy it, or if I buy it, I buy less of it. Or if I do buy it and buy a lot, I make sure it's something that everybody in my house also eats, so other people are helping me eat it as well, and I'm not overdoing it. Alright, the next question is just asking for a loose skin update. I did recently do a whole video on my loose skin. I'll link the video in my description box. I would say that I'm pretty much still the same as I was in that video. So that video, I have before and after videos and pictures and stuff in there. So that would be the best place to see a loose skin update. But just to give you a verbal update, I do have loose skin. I would consider the loose skin that I have to not be like dramatic loose skin. Like, I do want to get the skin on my arms removed, but other than that, I don't think I'll be having other surgeries. I'm thinking about my boobs, although I'm going to talk about this in my update video. But my skin on my boobs has started to tighten up and like fill up a little bit again. So I don't even know if I'm going to get that done. But my arms are the only place where I'm like, yeah, that is a huge insecurity. I want to get that fixed. My stomach, I have loose skin, but with underwear on, I don't feel like it's that bad. Like, where the loose skin is like my underwear alone covers it up. So I'm not too concerned with that. But as I said, in the video, you can see that for yourself. All right, next question says, do you have to take vitamins for the rest of your life, or can you just take them for a year? So the thing with vitamins is the reason that we have to take vitamins after surgery is because of the small quantities of food. So we do not, after having bariatric surgery, regardless of what bariatric surgery you have, we do not eat enough food to get all of the vitamins we need from food alone, which is why it's important to take your vitamins. And yes, this would be something that you should be doing for the rest of your life, only because you want to make sure that you don't get malnourished and don't lose your hair and have other adverse side effects to being malnourished. And vitamins are going to help supplement what you cannot get from food. I am not a person who loves taking things like vitamins. I personally prefer to get my nutrients from my food. However, I'm aware that I don't eat a lot of food. And because of the little bit of food that I eat, I don't realistically think that I can get all of the vitamins I need from my food alone. And that's the reason for the vitamins. So it's not like, oh, you got surgery, so now you got to take vitamins. It's more so like, you want to be healthy, you don't want to be malnourished, and you know that you can't get all the vitamins you need from food. That's the reason we take bariatric multivitamins, because it gives us what we cannot get naturally. All right, next question says, are you worried about getting a hernia doing ab workouts? Short answer here is no. That's not something that was ever raised to me as a concern. I think that could happen regardless of if you had surgery or not. I had a hernia before surgery that was repaired during my surgery. But no, that's not something that has ever been a concern for me. Next question says, were you working out while on the pre-op diet? No, I wasn't working out on my pre-op diet. I was really just focused on, because I didn't have the pre-op liquid diet. I had a pre-op 1200 calorie diet, and I was more so focused on just doing that. I didn't work out or anything like that. I knew I was getting surgery, so I knew that that was a journey that I would get to eventually. Once again, working out is not how you lose weight. Working out is for fitness. It's for muscle toning. It's for overall health. But I was focused on weight loss at that point, and I was focused on preparing for surgery. So working out was nowhere near into my mind at all during that time. All right, next question says, I'm 8 months out and I lost 70 pounds, but haven't lost anything in the last month. Help. So this goes into something I talked about in the first video. Make sure you watch that one if you have not already. But it sounds like she says she lost 70 pounds. She's 8 months out, haven't lost anything in the last month. You're just stalled. And it's normal. It's normal to stall. Your body has to slow down every now and then. Give it some time to catch back up and then keep going. Remember that a lot of the times, there's a lot of things that can cause a stall. But a lot of the times, the reason is your body is just playing catch up. And trust your body to do what is healthiest for you. You've already lost 70 pounds in 8 months. That is already a huge accomplishment, and you should be so proud of yourself. And you're not done. Your body is not done losing weight, but it is just simply slowing itself down so that you can lose weight in a way that is healthy for you, because health is the goal. Getting the number to be as small as possible in the quickest time possible is not the goal. At least it shouldn't be the goal. Being healthy is the goal, and that's what your body is trying to do. Now, that being said, you have to think about, okay, I'm stalled. Is it my body slowing down to help me, or am I doing something that is causing this stall? So think, are you keeping your portion small? You're at 8 months post-op. So around 4 ounces of food. Am I eating around 4 ounces of food? If you are, great. Are you drinking water? A lot of water. I forgot what the exact ounces are, like 64 ounces or something like that. Are you doing that? Okay, great. Are you taking your vitamins? Right? You are. Okay. Are you moving your body? Not necessarily exercising, but do you get up and walk around? You do? Right. So you're doing all the things you're supposed to do. If you can say yes, honestly, to every single one of those questions, then you're doing great. Your body is just stalled. If you cannot honestly say yes to everything I just said, then maybe alter what you're doing and make sure you're improving in that area to see if that helps. Another thing to do, if you know, yes, you've done every single thing I just said, and you are still stalled and you feel like it's another reason, try using the bathroom. A lot of the times you think you're stalled, but you're really just constipated and you need to poop. So if you did everything that was on my list and you've been pooping, then just know your body is just slowing down because it needs to recuperate. And just give it some time and trust your body that it is doing what is healthiest for you. All right, next question says, how did you prepare mentally and physically to get VSG? So I am a Looney Tune. Honestly, I'm the type of person that when I make a decision and I decide that I'm going to do something, I just do it. Like, I am not the okay, let me mentally prepare, let me physically. I just do it, because once I made the decision in my head to get the surgery, I knew it was gonna work. I knew I was gonna be able to do what I had to do. So in my mind, I don't think I really did anything to prepare other than do the 1200 calorie diet that my doctor put me on. Like, there was really nothing mentally or physically I did outside of that 1200 calorie diet. So that's the short answer to my question. If you are not like me and you need to prepare, some things I'd recommend you do is you can start trying to heal your relationship with food now. Start practicing that chewing slowly thing to try to help change the way that you eat. Start therapy if you can, to start working on the mental aspects that might be coming up. Those are all things that I would recommend you doing. But outside of those things, I really don't think there is much you can do to prepare yourself mentally or physically for this. It's one of those things that you just kind of got to do it. All you really need to do mentally to prepare yourself is be 100% sure that this is something that you really, really want and that you are ready to commit to. I see so many people who get this surgery because you know how they talk about VSG being the easy way out, and I'm gonna do a whole video on that because I have some controversial opinions on that. But I think some people take that easy way out thing so literally and think, well, I don't want to be big, so I'm gonna just get the surgery and be small. That is not what it is. It requires work. It requires dedication. It requires you to be committed to the process. And if you are not mentally there and you are not honestly mentally in a place where you can be committed to it, then I do not recommend this surgery for you. So I think the biggest thing that you can do to prepare yourself mentally for the surgery is make sure that you are 100% ready to commit to a major life change. All right, next question. If you decide on skin removal, do you know how long they advise waiting after VSG? So yes, I believe my doctor said that I should wait until like a year after I get to my goal weight. So I got to my goal weight at around a year out. So technically next year is when I would be advisable to get skin removal surgery. Although there's people who get it sooner, who get it later. I think it's more so about like how long you've been at your desired weight. Like I said before, my boobs, the skin has already started to naturally tighten up there. You want to wait and let your body settle and see what's going to happen. You also want to make sure that you really are at your resting weight and you're not going to lose more weight, or that you're not going to gain a little bit of weight. You want to wait until your body is at the same place for a while and then go ahead and get the surgery, the skin removal surgery, so that you have the best results. So for me, for my arms, I think if I am to do my arms, I would wait until after I hit 2 years post-op to get my surgery done on my arms. All right, next question is dressing for loose skin. Do you wear short sleeve dresses? I'm looking forward to flaunting my, it ends there, but I'm assuming you mean body. Okay, so short sleeve dresses. I typically don't, when you say short sleeve, I assume you mean like this. Like I wear short sleeve dresses that are like up to here. I don't really like wearing sleeveless because I'm really insecure about my loose skin on my arms. Because I'm wearing a shirt, you can't really see it, but if I do that, maybe you can notice what I mean. There's a lot of loose skin there and that makes me self-conscious, which is why I want to get the surgery. So currently I don't really wear sleeveless outfits out. I might take pictures of it in the house, or like if I'm on vacation and going from the room to the restaurant and back to the room, maybe I'll wear a sleeveless shirt. But like out and about where I might have to raise my hand for a reason, I don't do it because it makes me feel insecure. I like to feel comfortable and confident in my clothes, and I just don't feel confident in sleeveless things. But short sleeve I could definitely do. I definitely wear a lot more like body fitting things like what I have on right now. I said in part 1, but I'm going to say again, I think the best way to really flaunt your body and look good after VSG, one, shapewear goes a long way. Something comfortable. I don't like shapewear that's too restricting. Shapewear just kind of helps flatten everything out, like flatten out the loose skin. Also, wearing clothes that have very good quality materials. I think a lot of the time when people can look unflattering after surgery is because the clothing that they're wearing is cheaply made, and because of that, the fabrics just aren't flattering when you have loose skin. And that, of course, is going to be up to the individual. Everybody sees flattering as something different. To me, I think that bodies in general, whether you had VSG or not, you just look better in better quality material. So I'd say after you get to your goal weight, invest in some nicer, higher quality. It doesn't have to be like designer or anything like that. I just mean like read the labels, get actual good materials. That is just going to be the best way to be flattering on the body. But definitely, you did not lose all this weight to be hiding your body. Once you're confident enough to do so, flaunt what you got. Flaunt the body you worked hard for. I am 100% here for it. Don't let nobody tell you you can't flaunt your body. And that goes for regardless of what stage you're in. Your body is yours. You look good. Regardless of what anybody else thinks, flaunt your body. All right, next question is, I'm 3 weeks post-op. Any advice for being in early stages to have long-term success? Yes, I love this question. What's that sound? Oh my goodness, I love this question. Yeah, that's how I feel about this question, because I feel like long-term success, I feel like a lot of people are so concerned with success right now and aren't concerned with long-term success. So the way that I think you can have a long-term success is focusing on healing your relationship with food, not adapting new eating disorders. And I say this because I watch a lot of content about VSG, and not talking about any person in particular, but I see a lot of people promoting really toxic diets. Like I'm talking eating just protein. I'm talking eating food with very little substance. Like eating a piece of cheese wrapped in a deli ham is not substance. Like, that's not healthy. Is it high protein? Yes, but is that the healthiest way you could get protein in? Absolutely not. You want to eat healthy foods. You want to eat foods that are going to be well balanced and nutritional. So you want to make sure you're actually, when you're reading the back of food, what I see people do is they'll read the back of food and be like, oh, this has 2 grams of carbs, it's healthy. No, read the ingredients. Actually learn what certain foods do for your body and learn how to be healthy, well-rounded, not just about protein. Also making sure that you're paying attention how the things you eat make you feel. Really being intuitive with your body and healing your relationship with food so that you can learn how to eat all things in moderation and learn how to eat a well-balanced diet. That's going to be the key to actually being successful long-term and actually maintaining a healthy lifestyle long-term. Because the opposite to that, eating just protein bars, bottled protein shakes, cheese wrapped in ham, eating that long term, eventually you're gonna stop doing that. Eventually you're gonna go back into bad habits, or the alternative, if you continue eating that way, you're not going to be actually healthy. And when I say healthy, like, what does your blood work look like? What's actually going on inside of your body that isn't just external weight loss? I think people get very focused on losing weight on the outside and forget about actually being healthy on the inside and end up doing more harm than good, which makes you a forever patient. Then you're back in the hospital for a whole different reason. We want to make sure that we are staying healthy and are not just focusing on weight loss. And this comes from so many things. It comes from understanding how stalls work and not freaking out every single time you have a stall. This comes from having a healthy relationship with the scale, breaking up with her. She's toxic. Don't focus so much on the scale and instead focus on how you feel, focus on how you look in your clothing, focus on healthy habits and building healthy habits with your weight, with your body, with fitness, with the people in your life, with yourself. That is how you're going to be successful long term, not focusing on being as skinny as humanly possible. All right, next question says, I'm stuck with my weight since 4 months. Did you face the same? So I think this goes into all the other questions with stalls. So a lot of people get stuck and think that it's over. Trust me, if I know one thing for sure, at 4 months, you are not done losing weight. Your body is doing something, and like I said before, are you eating small portions? Are you taking your vitamins? Are you drinking your water? Are you moving your body? Are you pooping? If you're doing all of those things, then you are simply stalled. If you're not doing any of those things, you need to make sure you're doing those things. That's how you figure that out. But stalls are 1000% normal, and I was no stranger to them. If you're watching this video, please let people know in the comments about stalls and how they will happen, but they will pass. And when I say stalls, I mean anywhere from a few days to a few months, sometimes in some cases. But just know that stalls are genuinely part of the process if you are doing all of the things you were supposed to do to be successful. All right, next question says, my hair has started falling out. Are you taking any other supplements to prevent that? So for me personally, no, I'm not taking any supplements for hair loss because of the way that I eat. I think I'm eating a nutritional enough diet to not need to take that. However, I do own some. I thought they were right here, but they're not. BariLife does have a hair, skin, and nail vitamin made just for bariatric patients. I'll link it below. But outside of that, there are so many companies that also make similar vitamins, not for bariatric patients, but just hair, skin, and nail vitamins. I think the main way to make sure that you are not losing hair is by making sure that you are not nutrient deficient. And that comes from taking your vitamins regularly, drinking enough water, and eating a well-balanced diet. All right, next question is, do you always feel sick? No, I don't always feel sick. I typically feel good. When I do feel sick is when I eat something that I know I had no business eating. Like for me, my stomach is very sensitive to dairy, so I don't eat a lot of dairy because it makes me feel sick. I also don't eat avocados because I learned very early in my journey that they do not sit right in my stomach. So I don't eat avocados. The feeling sick thing, a lot of the time, it's because you're eating things that your new stomach just can't handle. We develop aversions after surgery, and that's something that I don't think anybody asks specifically about, but it's something that is very common. You develop aversions to certain foods that you did not have that aversion to before. So it's really important to pay attention to your body. When you're starting to feel sick, think, what did I eat today? And how did I feel last time I ate this? And if you realize that every single time you eat pasta, you feel sick, stop eating pasta because your body just does not like it. Find something else. right? Be intuitive. And that also goes into how to be successful long term, is really being intuitive with your body and understanding what your body is telling you. When something is wrong, your body is going to give you all the information you need to know. But are you listening? If you're listening, you'll be able to know, all right, every time I eat this thing, I feel sick, and then stop eating it. Something else that makes me feel sick sometimes is if I drink something, usually water, too quickly, I'll start to feel nauseous. But that just teaches me, don't drink so fast. I have to listen to my body, listen to the cues that it's giving me, and adjust accordingly. All right, next question says, how long before you started drinking coffee again? You know, I have my coffee right here, but I actually don't remember when I started drinking coffee. I want to say it was probably around 5 months. And I think it was 5 months because I think that's around when the constipation got bad. And I started drinking coffee to help me with the constipation, and it sure does. So I think it was around then. My doctor never told me like, oh, you can't drink coffee at a particular point. I just think I just wasn't. I was so focused on drinking my protein shakes and drinking my water that there was just no room in my stomach for coffee. But at that point, I started drinking coffee to help with the constipation, and it helped. So that's around when I started taking it. But I don't think there's anything that says we can't drink coffee at a certain point. So when you want to drink coffee. But ask your doctor first to be sure. All right, that is it for part 2 of this 3-part Q&A. If you enjoyed this video, you're in luck because there is another part coming out tomorrow. And just like last time, if there was anything that you wanted to know that I did not answer in this video, go ahead and leave your question below and I will do my best to get to it. But if you had surgery yourself and see a question that you can answer, go ahead and help somebody else out. I like to consider us a big community, so you don't have to wait for me to respond. Go ahead and respond to someone else's question. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.
Where in the world is Karen San Diego? From BK to Belly, it's anywhere she say so. She changing your life, can see it straight through her eyes.